Welcome to where I grew up. It's Opa-locka, y'all, at its finest.
My name is Patrice Williams.
My name is Sunni Speaks.
My fiance and I moved down here. He purchased this house for his mom and his dad because his mom was from Jamaica and it was the winters in New York were getting too cold for her. She wanted to move back to Jamaica and he said that was too far. So we came down here, looked around, found this place, and we moved down here first and stayed here until they were ready to transition from New York here to South Florida.
I think my earliest memory is before my grandfather passed away. I either remember sitting in a chair inside here the day of his funeral, or like there's a picture of me sitting in his lap before he passed away.
You know, raising my children here, them going to school, because initially my husband had a restaurant and the restaurant was up in Sunrise. So we used to, you know, go up there every day to the restaurant. And since it was so far from where we actually lived, you know, I found a school up there where, you know, my kids could go to school up there. So, and it was a private school. So we would drive them, drop them off to school, and then open a restaurant and, you know, work in the restaurant and then pick them up and bring them to the restaurant and then, you know, drive back home again.
Playing freeze tag in this yard, playing hide and go seek in the yard, and you know, street lights coming on. You got to be in the house or be home or be on your way home. My dad used to have a really big like Lincoln, like a long car. It was like a yacht. And so, you know, if I was gone too long or the street lights had came on, you know, my friends would be like, oh, there go, you know, there goes Sonny Dad in that stinking Lincoln. And they knew, like, my dad didn't play around. Like, he used to ride around with the belt in the car. Like, you know you're supposed to be already home. Playing spades out here. I remember having a birthday party and like being underneath the mango tree and my dad grilling hot dogs and hamburgers and us having Publix cake. You know, just real Dade County type vibes. So those are like my memories here. That's just, I would say, you know, core to really who I am. And, you know, as we go inside the house, the places where my dad showed me how to cook, which is now my daily livelihood. But just being a kid here, running in and out, drinking from the water hose, you know, am I air conditioning the whole neighborhood? Close that door. Or, you know, you got one more time to come in this house, you can be in the house for good. Playing kickball in front of the house, all of those things, just typical jump rope, dodgeball, all of those things, a lot of play, you know. Even though there was a lot going on in Opa-locka, I would manage to stay out of a lot of trouble myself and my brother because we had a really structured home.
It was just different from me coming from New York, you know, transitioning to some place that's more tropical. And so when I came down here, you know, it getting adjusted to the climate change was one thing. So my husband and I, we used to eat ice cream every night. You know, eat ice cream every night. And Opa-locka, I guess it didn't like absorb it as being Opa-locka like that. You know, it was a place that we lived, you know, our kids grew. So whatever was going on, plus you know, I used to work at for a Fortune 500 company. So I would be leave early in the morning, you know, drop them off to school and then go to work and then come back. And by the time I came back, it was in the evening time. So I didn't really, you know, mingle into like the streets or hang out and, you know, like that.
If you didn't leave, if you didn't have that opportunity, I went to FAMU and I left when I was 18, you know, to go and see something different. Went there, got my degree, and, you know, develop a new set of friends. And but I also learned these different habits, like living on my own. I remember like my freshman year at FAM, and I called my mom and I was like, Mom, when did cereal become $3? And she was like, girl, like,
where you been?
Where you been? Newsflash, bucko, you know. And I was just like having to buy my own groceries, budget my money for the month, and, you know, essentially, you know, as much as possible, like take care of my household. And I see in a lot of ways when I come back here, the people who are still here, you know, that are my age, that have never left, that, you know, ended up having kids or just it got involved in other habits that kind of perpetuated like a cycle of poverty. That's why every time I go to a new country, I kind of just take this moment of gratitude and think about, you know, what my life could have been had I never left. Like, I'm just this girl from Opa-locka, and I'm in, you know, Bali, Indonesia. I'm in Cape Town, South Africa. I'm in, you know, Dakar, Senegal, Paris, France, like all of these places. I've been to like, I think 19 or 20 countries now. And I always take that moment of like just thinking about where I came from, the people that are there, and the people who are still there who don't have the opportunities that I've had, who haven't been afforded. I would say just get out, because Miami is the kind of place, Opa-locka and the surrounding cities, it is the kind of place where you can seem like this is where your forever will be. And it's such a huge, wide world. There's so many people that are doing things, you know, differently on the other side of the world, on the other side of the country, going to different states and different cities, and just having that experience. So I would say get out. Like, that would be my number one thing. And in some ways it's cautionary, like, get out so, you know, not so you don't have to return, but get out so you can see what the world has to offer you, you know.
I definitely have an emotional tie to it, and we are gonna, you know, I guess put it on the market and sell it and move on. Do I feel sad about it? Most definitely. It's not something that I ever thought that I would, you know, have to come to that conclusion to do, but, you know, you have to, you know, keep moving forward. Tears well up in my eyes, you know, because I spent so much time with, you know, my kids and my husband, you know, and like I said before that, my mother and father-in-law lived here, and, you know, just to think about 1978 to now, that's a long time. You know, so yes, I do have an emotional connection to it, and it does make me feel some kind of way to know that I'm going to be, you know, selling it and moving on.
I feel all of that too, because the history that's here, so much history here, you know, even as my business grows, like, this is where I learned how to cook. It's where I have so many memories in the kitchen with my dad and my siblings. It's very definitely, you know, emotional and very difficult to have to, you know, give up this property, but, you know, it's not sustainable. No one lives here. Like, this could be somebody else's home, you know, this could be somebody else's starting point, you know. There's no such thing, I feel like, as, you know, endings, only new beginnings. So it's time to let somebody else make some memories here. Greetings, we are here at Greenhouse Kitchens, where my oxtail is being manufactured. It's Black owned, and I'm very excited to show y'all the inside. So let's go, come on. So we got the guys working here, measuring out some of the vital wheat gluten, which is what holds our mushroom, beets, and bean mixture together. So everything gets measured down literally to the gram. It's an exact science. We have all of our dry seasonings here, and the base of the oxtail is chickpeas, so you're gonna see a ton of chickpeas all around. Then if you follow me right here, this is where all our vegan meats get kept. These are our oxtail tips. I get a bag like this, a box like this, every week. We ship out our wholesale orders. We ship out our retail orders. So we pick them up on Sunday. Everything gets shipped Monday through Wednesday. And then people prepare it how they want to in their home. They do pizzas, empanadas, tacos. You can just put it in some broth or any type of gravy and cook it. And it lasts 10 months in the freezer as long as it's vacuum sealed in the pack like this. 5 days in the fridge. 10 days in the fridge, 5 days outside of the fridge. This is my life every Sunday. I come out here and pick up the oxtail and break it down like a pound. Y'all know what it is, know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? I left my grill at home, but you know.
My name is Guy. I work for Greenhouse Kitchen. Most of the products you see here is what we do. A vegan oxtail for Sunni. And that takes, it's a long process. It's hard work. But it pays off at the end.
My name is Kyle. I also go by Sunni, but I'm gonna leave that to Sunni. We make the vegan products here on a day-to-day. We make a lot of, it's probably like 6 or 7 different products, but Sunni got most of our attention. She got the most of our business. She selling a lot right now. So the first time that I tasted, I was like, what the fuck is, there's no way that this is vegan. This is not, you're lying. This is fucking magic. This is not real food. This is witchcraft. I think any other Jamaican would get the stamp of approval too. They would give it. It just take too long. It just take way too fucking long, but it's worth it. It is worth it at the end of it all, so.
It's like a double entendre. I know that's a big word for them. That means one thing means two things.
It's a triple entendre.
What?
All right, Sunny, what we doing? What we got going on?
We're making the vegan oxtail. So we have to make the gravy, and we have some sugar, vegan sugar, of course. And what we're doing is we're browning it to create the browning sauce that's gonna make the color, almost like we're cooking beef. So just hit it with a little bit of sugar. And it's a bit of a process.
Okay.
We're going to let it turn brown, and then we're going to keep stirring it. Then we're going to add our vegetables, make the gravy. But it's going to be a very, very quick process, actually.
Okay.
This is real old school. We're making the brownie from scratch.
Now, can you use an alternative for the sweetener outside of the sugar?
Well, the browning doesn't really make it sweet. Once the sugar is burnt, it turns to like a little bit of a bitter flavor, but not all the way bitter, but it just adds a richness, almost like caramel. So it adds like a richness to the sauce. So it's not actually going to make it sweet. So you can't like replace the sugar with agave, let's say. It won't work.
Okay, okay. There's a chemistry behind it for sure.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a chemistry to cooking food.
And how much sugar are you using?
You know.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
So once it gets brown, gets a nice color.
Okay. Sure.
We can start adding in our vegetables. So you see how this is actually like how caramel is made.
Okay, let me grab your vegetables.
So we're just gonna keep stirring it and let it get a little bit darker.
Okay.
Turn this fire down. Un petit pois.
No.
So that we don't burn it.
Not right now. All right, perfect. So what we got here? What we going in with?
So you got the typical Jamaican like starter kit.
Okay.
Basically, anything that Jamaicans usually make have the same base. It's very similar to American soul food, the onion, bell pepper, and the garlic. But we also add a little bit of spring onion or green onion or scallion as they call it. We have some thyme, we have some scotch bonnet, and then we have a little bit of ginger. But you see how we made our browning sauce?
Yes.
Real quick?
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to go
So
in.
let that go for about a couple minutes.
Yeah, just until you get the color. You're trying to get a color.
Okay.
So I would say focus on the color more than the time.
Gotcha.
You want it to give like a Morris chestnut, almost Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean, you know.
Then we go in with our vegetables that are going to leak off a little bit of water. And so we still don't want to put any oil or any water in there just yet.
Okay.
Because we don't want to change the consistency.
I was blessed to be born with a little bit of brown in my skin.
Amen. I'm going to add our bell pepper and our garlic. 11 cloves of garlic to be exact. A little bit of ginger. And it'll start to cake up. That's fine, because once we put our vegetable broth in there,
Okay.
it's gonna start to break up and dissolve off of this, but that's okay because we really only did that sugar so we can have that nice beautiful color, right?
For sure.
And then we're also gonna add, we have some Scotch bonnet here. This is about half the pepper because, you know, we're cooking Jamaican food. We need some heat.
Right.
We have our allspice that we crushed up.
Okay. Tell me why the allspice? What
The
flavor profile are you building with that?
It's like almost similar to a clove or a cardamom. It's a bridge flavor. So,
Okay.
you know, in oxtail and a lot of Jamaican cooking, there's a sweet profile, there's a savory, and there's a spicy.
Mm-hmm.
So that allspice kind of bridges those flavors the same way like in Haitian cooking, the clove bridges it, and then in Middle Eastern cooking, like the nutmeg or the cardamom bridges. Those are all sister spices.
Okay.
I personally, some people put the whole allspice in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you bite down in that, it will literally ruin your day. So I like to chop mine up so that I can still get that same flavor profile, and it doesn't surprise anybody. The same will happen with clove, which is a natural antibiotic. It's antimicrobial and it has a numbing agent. So you notice like in the old days when people have like toothaches and stuff, they'll tell you put a piece of clove like in the back of your mouth.
Right.
So you'll see a lot of times in Haitian cooking, they'll take the clove and stick it in a bell pepper or in a sashcloth so that it doesn't get lost in the sauce, but you still get the same flavor profile.
Okay.
So you see how we're starting to get like a demi-glaze, kind of like a sauce. That's coming from the sugar that was already in there, and now the vegetables are giving off the water.
Okay.
So now that it's doing that, can I get the broth? Do you mind?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So we're going to slowly add our broth in. Hit it with the stir. And some people like to pick like the thyme and stuff out. I don't. I tell people all the time, I like twigs and berries in my food. Like, that's how I know it's real. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We got our brown in. We got our lovely sauce. So once the onions become translucent and cooked down, which is what we're waiting for, because mainly the main thing with the oxtail is already cooked.
Right.
So all you're doing is just creating a beautiful sauce to put it in, and the oxtail will take about 10 to 15 minutes from the point in you creating the sauce.
Okay. And I can cook the oxtail from frozen, or they
Yep.
have to be thawed? Okay.
You can. I mean, sometimes they stick together, so, you know, just like a black household, take it out in the morning.
That's
Put
right.
Put it in a
Put it
bowl of
outside.
water. You know what I mean? Don't let your mom come home. And that meat is not took out the freezer. So it's the same concept with the vegan meat.
Correct.
Like I said, but from frozen, they will stick together. But of course, with the heat, you know, they'll tone down and dissolve. And you already smell what's going on, right?
I do. It's smelling very vibrant.
It's about to get even more lit. So we have the sauce going. The onions are starting to be a little bit translucent. We're going to season. Regularly scheduled program, onion powder, garlic powder.
Okay. You know, everything. That's everything.
Yeah, to make the vibe. We got a little black pepper here. Little bit of...
the biggest key to, or one of the biggest keys to the dish is the flavor that's traditional to, you know, the ethnicity of the food or the origin of it, right?
100%. 100%. We're going to do some all-purpose seasoning. And then this is really important. That's not traditional to oxtail, but I add a little bit of cumin. Cumin has a really earthy flavor, and it makes things taste more like beef. So I like to add cumin to mine. The cumin, the smoked paprika, and a little bit of tomato that we're going to add together is going to give it that beefy flavor profile.
Okay. Now, I read before that your dad was like the guru of oxtails and making oxtails for some time, and that's, you know, were you inspired by his recipe?
Oh yeah, so this is essentially his recipe, but just veganized with, you know, like I said, a couple of upgrades like the cumin, just playing around with the flavor profile. I like to, when I'm at home, also do like a green seasoning blend, which you see all across the diaspora, which comes right out of West Africa. But if you go to Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, it's called sofrito, it's called epis in Haiti, it's called green seasoning, and Barbados and Jamaica, but the base of it is all the same. You're just changing a few ingredients. Like in Jamaica, you're going to see the thyme and the allspice. In Haiti, you're going to see the parsley and the clove. In like a Puerto Rico, you're going to see the culantro and the tomato added. Sometimes they do or they don't have it with the saffron as well. So it's just a few different ingredients, but the base, the onion, the bell pepper, and the act of actually grounding it up and making that into the base, that's indigenously African. Once people saw that, you know, I had so many people coming in saying, like, as someone who's vegan, like, I decided that you know, I would never eat oxtail again because I'd made the choice to go vegan. And now you've given me the ability to have something from my childhood vegan. So that's really what it's all about for me, is that, you know, people can still feel in tune with their culture, their history, their tradition. And that doesn't have to end just because you've gone vegan or you decide to go plant-based.
For sure. I mean, you know, one of my biggest inspirations behind the rabbit hole is just making sure that the food can create, you know, nostalgic memories that maybe, you know, while you were younger or before you were vegan that you remember, right? Because you don't have to lose the flavor. You don't have to lose the texture. There's so many fruits and vegetables that can, you know, give you exactly what you're looking for without harming the animals in the process, you know?
Exactly. You said it all, brother. So we have our broth. We're going to let that cook down. I'm going to add a little bit of browning to it just so the color actually takes the way that we want it to. And then one of my secret ingredients is coconut oil. So you can use a regular oil in this, but coconut oil is the only one that's solid at room temperature, so it most mimics animal fat. And so that coconut oil with the tomato, the smoked paprika, and the cumin coming together is really going to make it taste like it has beef fat. You'll even see, like, you know, when you do a stew, the little pockets of oil at the top.
Yeah.
You got it, chef.
I mean, come on now. I've been doing it for a little bit, you know. Can I sit this down?
Yeah, go ahead, sit it down. And I'm going to turn this fire up.
All right. I'm going to take this from you.
But we pretty much, you know, we rolling.
Let me get some of that.
Yeah, we need some more ginger. Need some more thyme.
Okay.
Definitely need the allspice. You see how you don't have that sweet kind of note in the background?
For sure.
That's the allspice.
So we got some more ginger, more thyme. Some more allspice. Beautiful. So here's your allspice. Gotcha. There's your thyme. Got your ginger. Okay. Because you're looking for something that's very aromatic. You know, you want those notes to be potent, you know, before you add the oxtail. Am I right?
Yep. And then I'm going to hit it one more time with some of the other seasonings, the onion powder.
For sure.
Just because we added that broth.
The onion and the garlic?
Onion and the garlic.
Okay.
I'm going to do some cumin as well, too. Okay. I'm not going to add any more paprika because I already smell those sweet notes to it. But, you know, I'm still black, so I feel like you can never have enough, like, onion powder and garlic powder.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'm going to give this a good stir, and then we are ready for the oxtail.
Beautiful.
Okay, so go ahead and smell this now.
Okay. Okay.
See the difference?
Yeah. I got you. Good.
Right? And now we're just going to drop the oxtail in there.
Beautiful.
It'll be done in about 10 minutes. So even though this looks really watery, which is fine, the oxtail is going to thicken it up because around the edges is rice paper and on the inside it's made with wheat flour. So the flour is actually going to thicken it up and turn it into a stew. We might even have to add some more water to it.
Okay.
But you see how it's nice and brown.
Right.
Very rich color. And you can add more browning if you want. And then I'm going to take that metal spoon from you now. Oops. So, you know, being that the oxtail is completely cooked already,
right,
you want it to be submerged in the sauce. And what you're looking for is for the rice paper to go nice and soft. Okay. So once that rice paper turns like this one you see right here, where it's like a fat, almost like a gristle, that's how we wrap it in the rice paper. Once you see that, you've got what you're looking for. Because this is going to be heated. I'm going to actually turn this fire up a little bit more. Okay. And can we get some water?
For sure.
Just a little bit. So we can get this.
Now, if they're cooking at home, you know, what is the cook time start to finish, give or take? I know that your recipe
15.
is in a few places. Okay.
So
it's in the Slutty Vegan cookbook, right?
The collard green recipe.
Collard greens. Okay.
So that's good. So with this recipe, whenever you purchase the oxtail online, you get the gravy recipe. So my dad's oxtail gravy recipe comes with every time you buy the oxtail. So you download it and you can, you know, make it.
Where can they find that at? For the folks that don't know the amazing Sunni Speaks, where can they go and get that?
SunnySpeaksVegan.com. You can purchase it. You use the code BlackBlack. You will get some coins off.
Okay, okay, wonderful.
And I'm just gonna
Wonderful.
keep basting it, but we're about ready to eat here, and
Nice.
then we'll have you taste it. We ready to? You ready to grab you a bite, Chef?
You know what? I am. Let me go ahead and give me a nice little tasting spoon.
Go ahead, grab this one right here. Now I got an actual.
Now, you know you're not about to
Chef.
burn me and have me just bite into this right here, but I am going to get some of this gravy, though, and try that.
You want? We can pass that out to the folks that's on set.
Yes, I will. Here you go, good sir. For sure, here you go, good sir.
Very hot. Ah! Just pass that off to the good people.
It's like that. It's like that. Y'all, so we want to thank y'all for having a sunny day with Sunni Speaks at the Rabbit Hole. This is an H.A.C. production. You know, Sunny, thank you so much for coming through. You know, the oxtails, busing. Now that I got the recipe, we're going to have to get on the Rabbit Hole menu. Make sure y'all support Sunni Speaks, one of the dopest chefs. You know, not just vegan chefs, but chefs, period, that's doing this.
You mean it, friend?
I do. So inspirational. Get the oxtail at SunniSpeaksVegan.com.
.com.
Yeah.